we need to have a real discussion about this. And I think if you're training in a public gym, you're gonna 100% understand what I'm talking about. And it's when people are making noises when they're training, or they are irritating other people. That may not be the reason they're doing it, but it's just so frustrating. So number one is when people are doing reps and they are adding sounds, like each reps. Like, I understand that it may be heavy and you may need to breathe roughly or a bit more heavily, but sounding like on each rep, who is gonna benefit from it? It just makes you look really like, I don't know. Like, I can understand it to a small degree when it comes to the macho, like it feels rough when you're doing it, but from any other person around you, it just looks weird, it sounds weird, and I don't really see the benefits of doing it. And the reason I'm bringing up this when it comes to the gym is because the same applies with calisthenics. Like, in calisthenics, I see it as a really growing sport, but with that being said, it also needs to be represented in a good way. So with this video, I sort of want you guys to form a union with me and make sure that we don't make people annoyed by calisthenics. And number one is explosive muscle ups in these squat racks when other people are training. Like, I was at a gym pretty recently, and there was this super nice guy, but he did explosive muscle ups in a rig that is like, you know, probably 8 or 6 squat racks at once. And he did explosive muscle ups, you know, these ones where you literally just push away as hard as possible, at the same time as other people were doing military press or squats or wherever in the rack. And at that point, I just feel like it's really disrespectful. So I would never do that. Even though I want to train explosive muscle ups, I would need to wait for the rig to be free or do it at another place. Because if you do things that annoys people, it's a really bad thing, both for the sport. Like, anytime someone sees someone do muscle up, they're gonna be afraid, like, fuck, not this guy again. He's gonna ruin my set. It's just so frustrating where literally everything's just shaking. So please, promise me, don't do explosive muscle ups when people are using the same rig. That is one thing. And now, if there's anyone from the gym that's watching, if you ever see someone do handstand, please don't walk 2 centimeters close to that person. Like, I see it so many times. I've been sort of I've been a victim to it like millions of times during my trainings as well. Now, of course, at the level I do it right now, I don't care anymore. But for anyone that is getting started, they're training their handstand, doing the first attempts, doesn't even need to be in the beginning. It's just annoying at any point. When someone goes 2 centimeters close to you, I'm exaggerating it a bit, but it is literally the fact. If I were to fall, I would 100% crush them. And at that point, I just think it's super disrespectful from anyone going close to someone doing handstand. Of course, you choose where you do your handstand. If you do it literally where it's always people going, it's on you. But if you do it somewhere and someone comes by and can literally choose another path and they don't do it, that's something I actually get frustrated by. Like, showing that type of disrespect, it's just, I don't understand it. And sometimes I don't know if people are bothered by the fact that you're doing handstand in a, like, at the spot they would want to go. I don't know, in my opinion, I just would never go close to someone doing handstand. I would give them their sort of area of comfort, even though you can hold your handstand. When you see someone in the periphery, I don't know if that's the name for it, but you see a shadow either way pass by, it just distracts you from what you're doing. So please, just don't do it. It's like any calisthenics athlete, we would never go. If you see someone doing squats, you see someone doing deadlift, you see someone doing shoulder press, you see someone doing weighted on a bench, you never just go right by them. You take a path that would not be annoying for them. Or if someone is doing curls by the dumbbell rack, you will never go in front of them and pick up the dumbbells in mid-set. It's just these unwritten rules for the gym, but for calisthenics I think that should be a thing as well. People should respect other ones doing handstands or other skills as well. I don't know, maybe I'm the only one thinking about it, but it's something that I definitely get a bit annoyed at. And I just want to bring all of these things up at the same time because it's sort of the gym culture contra calisthenics culture. We both train in the same spot and do things, like it needs to collide in a good way. And in general, like all the gym people I talk with, super nice, and the other way around as well. All calisthenics people usually treat the gym people in a respectful way, like we're all pursuing the same thing, just what we love doing. And at the end of the day, no one should be bothered of the other one. So I think calisthenics people need to think about some things, gym people need to think about some other things as well for calisthenics, just showing the respect we all deserve. Either way, today the plan is going to be a front lever session, and I don't know how I feel in the body. Like I actually rested yesterday. I was supposed to do my front lever yesterday, but I took a full rest day training today instead because I just felt like my body was so sore. It might be that I'm bumping up the weights now, coming back to my normal training, and it's just a pretty drastic jump in intensity for my body. So might need more recovery, or at least I feel like I do need it. So I hope this extra rest day helped a bit and I can still perform at a decent level, because the plan is to do top front lever holds, front lever pull-ups, weighted pull-ups, and the Romanian deadlift. So not too crazy when it comes to the length, but it should be alright. And I might see, said I was gonna add the Victorian training as well, but that might be for the next front lever workout, because today it doesn't feel right now like it should be a good thing to add it, but who knows, I might add it if I feel really powerful. So I will see you all inside the gym. First up is gonna be the front lever touch. That session went actually pretty well. It was the first one I did the full front lever touch after the injury, and better than I expected. Might also be the fact that I kept diet, still activating everything, so I don't think my body lost any strength, just maybe not gaining that much more. So at least pretty much back to where I left off. And today, like I said in the car, it feels maybe not the best session or the circumstances for it, but it might change. Usually after a few sets the body sort of understands that it's fucking time to work out. So let's do 3 sets front lever touch and aiming for at least 5 seconds, and above that would be a bonus. Not bad at all. Might actually have been like 6 seconds. I don't know how the form was. Felt like my upper body was a bit too high in the beginning, but I'm gonna have a check. Actually better than I expected though, and that is always a good start on the workout. I actually double checked the footage, and I would argue that it was at least 6 seconds touch, and the form wasn't too bad at all. Started off maybe slightly too high, but then my legs were a bit more straight than usual, to be honest, unconsciously. Didn't necessarily think too much about it, and like 6 seconds, it's pretty good number, considering just the fact that I started off with a lot of resistance band, just training at the top hold. So now actually being able to do it without any help at all, and still getting this slightly high time and attention, not just a few seconds here and there, but some solid holds, that is some good progress. So let's do 2 more sets. Usually the first one isn't the best, so should be expecting probably 1 more second on the second set. Let's get it. Slight drop there with a height, not full touch, but I think the holding time was still pretty damn decent. Feels crazy. Like a few years ago, not even close to having the clean front lever touch. Could imagine of the front lever pull-ups, but you just touch that position. But since I'd never trained it, it just didn't get that much better. but now feeling pretty comfortable in the top position. It's real nice. And I think the pull-ups, it's just a matter of time pretty much, where I can do a front lever, hold it, pull up, and then the touch, because it's two comfort zone, both the hold and then the upper position as well. Let's do one more set. Stamina went down pretty damn fucking fast, so I switched to just one leg to increase time and attention a bit more. One thing I did before as well was I did holds, and then when I started to drop, I was always just take one easier progression, sort of like drop sets. Also a nice way to get a bit higher time and attention. I would prefer to just get the first set a bit better now, but it is what it is. In general though, these 3 sets still surprised me when it came to performance, even though I would like this one to be just slightly better for the last one. But let's move on. Front lever pull-ups. 3 pull-ups and then a solid hold. That's the goal. And if we can get them to touch, we spot on. Pretty damn happy, not gonna lie. Might have been some small kipping on the pull-up part, but it felt good. So I need to have check on the form before I take any big conclusions from it. But overall, just 3 ones with touch, even though it was some momentum, would still be pretty good. And look, when it comes to the dynamic part of it, it looks really solid, strength-wise as well. The only thing, it seems like my retraction is getting dropped. I feel like my bum is a bit too low, sort of. No, not of course fully sitting, but my hips are a bit too low. So I'm gonna focus more on the retraction for this set and just see if it does a difference. Or if it still doesn't, even though I put my focus there, might just be that sort of a weakness right now, or let's say bad workout as well, just not 100% power. But let's give it a try. I'm also gonna take a slightly wider grip, easier to get the retraction. Not all of them were touched, definitely not the last one, but might be that form was better for the pulling part. Then I still feel like I'm dropping a little bit, so it might just be that I need to add some more retraction as well in the sessions to strengthen that part. But overall, 3 reps, almost touch, pretty good hold. I'm happy. Not too bad. I think overall it became way better when I actually focused on retraction. And what I quickly mentioned in the previous set is that if you have a bit wider, it helps. If you have really tight, if you get into it, it can be beneficial, but it's hard to get into the retraction if you have tight grip. So the shoulders need to go out and then in, whereas the wider grip is more literally just pushing them backwards using the scapula. But the movement there is easier to get. So wider grip combined with me putting focus, I think helped. Next up is gonna be the weighted pull-ups, and I am gonna attempt the 50 kg for the minimum 6 reps. I know that before the injury with lower back, I did 8 reps on the 50 kg, which is a really solid number. So if I can get 8, that would be awesome. But I would be satisfied with 6 as well, to be honest. This is the first time back with those heavier weights. But let's give it a shot. Seven, it's halfway. Could probably push it with 8, but I feel like if I can do 7 for all the 3 sets, I'm gonna be extremely satisfied with this session. And then next workout, maybe bump it up to 8 reps again. Let's see if we can maintain it at 7. I took 3 minutes rest, should be enough. If I do drop down, I might take 4 minutes for the third one, but hopefully I can do 7, at least with some dead hang rest in between, inside the set. We're good. That's also something I like with having, not going fully to failure in these things, is that I don't need crazy amount of rest. Because literally I don't enjoy being in the gym for like 2.5 hours. I prefer sticking to like 1.5 hours, and reducing the resting time is one of those things, but at the same time you need enough to be recovered for next set. So I feel like having some rest in reserve or reps in reserve allows me to drop down the resting time but still perform pretty equal on all sets. For all OGs but also everyone new to the channel, it is now official that Gore Nation, which is the brand that I'm having the clothes from, the training equipment, my dip belt, the bar I just did front lever on, literally everything, and I've been with them for more than 2 years now. And they are gonna have their Black Friday sale, so Black Week actually, starting off the 28th of November, so pretty damn soon. So if you feel like you want to upgrade your training equipment, all of those things, it's going to be massive discounts. Also all the clothing, which I really recommend. I before fought Gore Nation had great equipment, always had high quality, all of those things, but they didn't focus as much on the clothing, whereas now they really stepped up the game on the clothing. So this is literally all I wear in the gym but outside as well. So if you feel like switching up your style as well, this is a good time, because they're gonna have massive discounts, the full store, and then code Simon, which is my personal one, will always give you 10% extra on top of all the discounts already. So just a great opportunity if you want to save some bucks and also get some really good stuff. Let's continue and do the last set of weighted pull-ups. Seven here as well, keeping it consistent. To be honest, also my reps are pretty slow when I do them, and that's because you gotta have a reason to why you train certain things. Is it because you want to be able to do maximum amount, which it may be if you're competing, or is it for the benefit of the exercise, or that you enjoy it, or the connection? And for me, it's not that I want to be able to do maximum reps at all. It's for the strength and connection part, and therefore I feel like when I do slow, controlling all parts, not only gaining momentum in the start, working explosive parts, but actually having the same strength up here and being able to control the full motion, that is where I feel like it's giving me the most. So I don't really care too much if I can do the most amount of reps. If I would be in a competition, I would increase the speed, but for now, the purpose of training it is more having the control. I just really like having it throughout the full range. So that's the reason to the slow reps, but control. Last up, Romanian deadlift, and still not crazy weights on it. 60. I did 61 session, but I feel like I want to stick with it one more time just to get a better hang of the exercise, since I haven't done this in a really long time, and we're talking like 5-6 years. I just want to get a feeling for it so I don't do a mistake and get injured, even though the point of it is to strengthen and minimize the chance of me getting injured in the future. Let's do 3 sets here as well. crazy fatigueness. But feels pretty solid. And now not even close to the same depth I used to do in the past. But it's more about just keeping the arch. As soon as I start losing it, so it takes away the reason of the exercise, and I only want to target the lower back. That's the main point. Gonna have a look just to see that I'm just not talking shit, but it actually looks alright. And do 2 more sets. Look pretty alright. The depth, of course, is not even close to what I used to do, but this is much better. I am far from being an expert on these exercises, since I haven't done them for a long time. I haven't had a coach for them either. But I have friends, I know some personal trainers as well, give some small tips here and there, and hopefully each session gets slightly better. The main thing though to have in mind is that you do things carefully. Like, even though I know that I'm pretty strong as an athlete, like most exercises I do, I could bump up the weights pretty high, but to what degree? It's all about not getting injured, but still being able to push yourself. So that's something I'm really careful with. All new exercises, just rather take it a bit slower with a low chance of injury, and then might take a bit longer time. But at the end of the day, if you have a journey that's more consistent in progress, no injuries, no sort of major setbacks, that long term is going to give even more results. And that's sort of the path I'm pursuing. Dead. We're done here. Also, a massive update for all the heavyweights out there. The front lever introduction will be in the Calisthenics Masterclass this week. So it is for anyone who wants to pursue the front lever. It is gonna be 14 lessons where I will go through all the important stuff within front lever, training structures, things to think about, avoiding injuries, training literally all the points you can imagine. And I will also add more stuff if there are things that I feel like are missing, because this place is programmable. So when you're there, I can add more stuff, you can comment on things, and it's just a great platform for you to transform and start your front lever journey. So I will leave the link up here, and you'll also find it in the description, and it's going to be out this week. It is also completely free to join, so if you are a heavyweight or 75 kg plus, this is a must. And to wrap up the sessions, in general, I think it went pretty damn good. I wasn't expecting too much, both my energy wise, but also since I haven't been back in the normal routines since literally one session ago. So didn't expect too much, but pretty good holds. Strong pull-ups. I think I was most surprised about the pull-ups and top front lever holds. Front lever pull-ups could be better, but still satisfied. And then this last thing, the Romanian deadlift, not a personal favorite, but it has to be done. And at the end of the day, I think all of this is gonna add up and contribute to my overall performance. So with that being said, hit like, subscribe, and I will see you all in the next one. Choo-choo!